We got to stop thinking that we have to wait for that because we're live already. As soon as we click that button, we're live.
All right.
Well, good evening.
Copy that.
Outsiders, Facebook, whatever.
Everybody.
Fan? Anyone?
Welcome to another episode of the Outsider Circle podcast. I'm your host, Leo.
I'm your co-host, Vin. What? Why did I do that? I feel like I just diminished, but I'm also the host.
Yes.
Or we're both co-hosts.
We're both co-hosts or we're both hosts. We're both hosts.
Yeah. We are your hosts, Vin and Leo. Leo and Vin. I like Leo and Vin better because it makes alphabetical sense.
And as you can see, we're both wearing pink sweaters, the same exact pink sweater that we both bought independently of one another.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure probably the same size or thereabouts.
Probably, yeah. I think mine's an XL.
I think mine is also an XL, yeah.
And we are...
They're from H&M, in case you were wondering.
Yes.
We're not sponsored, but we're open to sponsorship.
Definitely. Give me your monies, and I will whore my body out for products.
Yeah. And we'll create mediocre content to reflect your brand.
It'll be wonderful, It'll be great. What is it? I did manage to get this on sale, so I got my sweater for I think it was like $17.
This was also like on sale. It was like $16.50 or something. H&M is great, to be honest.
They're all right sometimes.
I'm a fan. Anyway, that's not the point what we're here to talk about today. We're dressed in this thematic pink sweater for Valentine's Day. Because today's February the 12th, as everyone knows. It's 2 days before Valentine's Day, and so since we do the podcast on a Tuesday, we figure, we might as well just do a themed one this time around. So we're doing what we are calling our Valentine's Day Variety Hour.
Yes. Today we're going to be going through a little bit different topics, and we're also having some ambitious production value today, too.
Yeah, this is our most complicated production we've done so far. We wanted to really make up for the technical failures and difficulties that were
last week. For anybody who tuned in, you might have noticed how horrible everything went constantly. It sucked, and now we're here to try to make up for it.
Yeah, so now we're going to try and bring you some high quality entertainment to get you through the rest of your week. Hopefully you enjoy it. And
so let's start off. So
we keep doing this before we launch into it. We are joined today by our good friend Brian on the keyboard, helping us facilitate this somewhat more complicated procedure.
Yes.
Hello, audience. Whenever you hear the clicky clacks, that's me trying to get information to you.
Yes, there we go. Thank you very much, Brian.
All right, so Brian is the man behind the scenes, but we did give him headphones today.
Yes.
So now he is part of the group. He feels like included, don't you, Brian?
Yeah.
I can hear myself, and I really enjoy it. There you go.
You could.
You tried to silence me.
We took it away from you,
but not today.
There we go. All right.
So I guess since we got a bunch to run through today, and we're gonna do four tight little segments. We're gonna do just kind of introduction of the history of Valentine's Day, the kind of other global romantic holidays.
Right.
We're also gonna sweat a lot in front of you, as I can already feel that happening.
Quite warm in here.
We have 3 lights on us at the moment, and my apartment
and the windows are closed because there's a lot of noise in New York City.
Yes, and some of that will probably still break through.
Honestly.
And then after the sweating, we're going to talk about kind of the commercialization of Valentine's Day, and more strangely,
the decline of it.
Yeah, just kind of the decline, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been conversating and noticing that Valentine's Day has been on a bit of a decline lately, and we do have some data to kind of back that up, which is actually very interesting.
I wish that we had found a little bit more on what the marketing of it looks like. We might be able to find some in the time between now and then, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so I don't know. Think about it yourself. Have you seen nearly as many Valentine's Day ads as you once might have? Do you feel like you're
exactly?
I feel like we are less bombarded these days by the imagery of Valentine's, and we're going to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, and then finally, to just cap it all off, who wins Valentine's Day?
Yeah,
and by who wins, we mean corporations, businesses, different business sectors. Who's making the most money off of our need to show our love to one another through monetary products and purchases?
And the answer may surprise you, so stick around until the end of the program to find out who wins Valentine's Day.
It's excellent. All right, so let's start off with Valentine's Day.
Right. So I would say real basic history that everybody kind of contextually knows growing up is that our current incarnation of Valentine's Day is very loosely based on the Catholic or the Christian holiday, the feast of Saint Valentine. which is a holiday that is weirdly enough attributed to maybe two popular Saint Valentinuses.
There's two Saint Valentinuses?
One or two early saints named Valentinus or Valentinus. Okay. And so Saint Valentine, one of them, I think probably the more popular, the one I grew up learning about in my brief time in Catholic school, was a martyr. He was someone who performed like public weddings and things like that when weddings were supposed to be strictly like family sanctioned and like negotiations of like contractual obligation and not romance or love.
It was familial joinings of wealth.
Right, exactly. Power brokering, effectively.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this, definitely the Catholic coded version of that I was taught as a kid was that Saint Valentine was noble enough to marry people who truly loved each other, and he would do it in public, and he would do it in the name of the Lord, so that he would bless their union. And then he was like imprisoned and tortured and ultimately killed for doing such things.
Yes, but outside of the kind of Catholic twist that we would like to think that Valentine's Day has, Valentine's Day actually kind of has a deeper root, as many Christian holidays do, as a pagan holiday.
Yes.
Yeah. Very loosely based on
Lupercalia.
Yeah, Lupercalia, which is a type of Roman pagan sex holiday
for to find your inner wolf spirit.
Yes.
Particularly, that's what the loop and the Lupercalia refers to.
And I don't know if you remember the name, but Vin's roommate last time we were discussing this was telling us that there's actually a festival that happens in New York City that's actually going to be happening this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and it's I guess it's happening somewhere around Union Square on Valentine's Day, and I think they're calling it like Lupercalia, a night of tantric passion or something to that effect.
Yeah, he described it as like everything but sex.
Right.
Like
probably very hedonistic, very like miasmic and tantric, and probably just like a celebration of specifically male sexuality and physiology and things like that.
Yeah, and it's initially it was a lot about fertility.
Right.
And one of the interesting things that we had discovered, or at least that we discovered while researching it, is that there was a strange sense or this action where the men would skin either calves or some type of other livestock animal, and then they would take the whole skin and then whip females with it. And the women would like line up to be whipped with this this animal skin, because they believe that by being hit by the animal skin that they would then be more fertile, which makes more babies, which up until recently has pretty much been the main cause of existence.
Right. And I think so more than the Lupercalia thing is something that a lot of writers have associated with Valentine's Day. But according at least to Wikipedia, there's no actual tangible evidence connecting the pagan holiday of Lupercalia with the Feast of St. Valentine or St. Valentine's Day. And actually, I guess the earliest recorded reference of Valentine's Day as like a romantic holiday for courtly love comes from Chaucer. I think he wrote some poem called A Parliament of Fowls, in which he said this particular line: for this was on Saint Valentine's Day, when every bird cometh there to chase his make.
That sounds very old.
I think, well, actually, sorry, I'm reading that incorrectly because it's Old English, so I think it's what actually it is, like when every bird comes there to chase their mate. So they're coming there or choose their mate. So like the courtship act in Chaucer was like the big literary impetus behind this concept of courtly love and like romanticizing people and courting people and trying to like woo.
Actually, speaking of courtly love, I had recently kind of learned more into detail what kind of courtly love entailed. And back in the day, like courtly love kind of really started to come into fashion in the kind of the King Arthur's like Knights of the Round Table type era, when that fiction was being written. There was, I believe it was Sir Galahad was in love with Guinevere, and they
I thought it was Lancelot.
Was it Lancelot?
Yeah.
It might have been that way. It was one of them who wasn't
Lancelot.
King Arthur.
Lancelot was in love with Guinevere, and like he cucked King Arthur.
Yeah, and like the whole thing was that they were supposed to like show each other their love, and like it was supposed to be very noble of like showing each other love and like loving each other like both like romantically and physically. But what made it like it's the highest, most purest point of love was the fact that they can never be like completed. Like
right,
they are never truly together, but they can come together
right.
to express their love in romantic and physical ways, and like that apparently was I think that came apart from French culture that had moved into England, and kind of it was this very weird, like it was like a very early free love type movement in England. That eventually was like quashed because it was like, nah, everybody's all sleeping around. We don't want that. We don't want to be promoting that with our literature and the stories that we tell each other.
Right.
But just side note there. But what else? So how else do we get to where we are in today's Valentine's Day, where now we just give candies and flowers and whatnot to our loved ones or our beloveds, and
or do we? Some of us might.
Yeah, some people might.
So it kind of goes on from there. The history of Valentine's is obviously a very long history because Saint Valentine existed fucking 1400 years ago, and people started associating February 14th, the feast of St. Valentine's Day, with a romantic holiday as a result of things like Chaucer and some other literary tropes that started emerging around the time. And then poetry started leaning really heavily on images of St. Valentine as like a romantic agent. And I think it just kind of spread from there. And then I guess there really wasn't a whole lot of stuff up until like the more like current era, like the late 1700s, early 1800s, where people were like writing letters all the time. So you would like confess letters of love to the one that you adored the most. And this is where like the concept of these little Valentine's Day cards and notes started coming around. So you could say that it is like a big Hallmark holiday, which it is, but Hallmark wasn't the first like company or first concept of card sending. Like letters were a really popular way of communicating for most of history. Like from once we've developed enough system of writing that everybody could start writing, people started sending letters all the time. Some of the most famous like collections of short work are like collections of letters from famous writers. Yeah. And so like it kind of just spawned from there. And then eventually, obviously, we started capitalizing everything under capitalism. Yeah. And so obviously then you started seeing the hallmarkization of these love letters and just being like, instead of writing a whole last love letter, why don't you just get this cute little Hallmark card with some cupids on it? It sends the same message.
Yeah. And, Cupid is Cupid's been invoked for many, many years now. I'm currently taking Latin poetry, and like that's like so much of what influenced the poet that we're learning about right now. Just because it's I think the Greek called it their idea of like their eros, which was more like passionate love. Yeah. Which is kind of different.
Which is what your bed is on fire with.
Yes, and what your loins burn with, or what your loins make the bed good on fire with. Right. After that's kind of just very brief, and now we're kind of where we're at today with that. Right. Brian, would you have happened to manage to find any photos of the Lupercalia festival in New York City or anywhere?
I'm not sure where he found it. My roommate is definitely in the culture of finding weird almost sex parties and probably some actual sex parties. It's not really something that I've come encounter with a lot. I don't get invited to a lot of sex parties. Again, also open to that. Hit me up.
Yeah. I found something called the Poetry Brothel.
Okay. Wow. Okay, sounds like my kind of brothel.
Can you show the audience real quick?
Is this in the city?
Hold on.
Fade. Use the fade.
Use the fade.
Oh, that's all right. Next time.
Yeah, next time. But yeah, the first three words here are immersive literary cabaret.
Ooh.
This sounds like something that
I went to a cabaret once. There was a lot of titties.
That Lily does.
You have to pay $50 to $250 to get entry to this one.
That is a wide range. What do you get for $250?
Probably access to the post-show orgy. I would imagine.
I would hope so.
I hope that's part of it.
I have some friends of mine apparently had gone to some orgies in the city, and there's like the different price points for the different types of people that go are very interesting. Like there's there's like your single male participant is obviously the highest price that you have to pay. Then there is couples participant, single female, and then I think the last one is single non-participant. And I think that one is like $80 just to like be there. But if you want to participate, if you want to be single, I think it was like $220 to participate in whatever these orgies were.
Orgies.
just you know, if you ever wanted to know that there's orgies like happening in the city, you got to pay for it, you know. If you're interested, it's Valentine's Day, you know. Maybe you and the significant other want to go to an orgy, or maybe you want to go by yourself and spend a bunch of money, you know. Who knows?
I mean, how do you budget for orgies?
I would assume so. Like, you know, it's
just like get together and you're like, hey, we'll split the cost of it for like the two of us to get in.
Well, yeah, and it would be a little bit cheaper for you because, like, you know,
yeah, if you come as a couple, I'm sure that you get a discount.
Yeah, you do.
You say that with such confidence.
I mean, that's what I was told, and it just makes sense.
That's what I know from all the orgies that I've been to. I'm a card-carrying member of the orgy patrol in New York City. I don't know why they're a patrol protecting these streets from sexlessness.
Well, I mean, well, if you're gonna have an orgy, it has to safe spaces, friend. Like, you can't just be having orgies in dangerous areas. You know, you got to be protected. You're a bunch of naked people banging each other. You know, you don't want to be worrying about somebody gonna come take our shit. No. You want?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You need to have a certain level of safety and safe spaceness. That's what the real safe space is. It's, you know, a place where you can comfortably fuck your friends. And without anyone worrying about where the wallets are gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, in terms of the history of St. Valentine's Day, after that brief tangent, there's another thing I'm seeing here is that, so in the United States, right, thinking about the hallmarkization of shit, the first mass-produced Valentines were embossed paper lace. They were produced and sold shortly after 1848. I guess it says after 1847. That could have been today. I'm assuming like 1848.
Oh, it might have been like February 1847. It was like right immediately, like after 1847 happened. You know, we're here.
Or maybe like January 1848. But why wouldn't you just say 1848?
I don't know. It's a really weird way to write it. Man.
Right? Like anyway, shortly after 1847, we started seeing the first of the commercially made, mass-produced Valentines. And so obviously, wow, like we shit on Hallmark a lot for this, but they were late to the game in terms of how Valentine's Day works. Like we've obviously been doing this kind of mass because I guess human laziness has been around for as long as humans have been, right? As soon as we started writing letters, we probably tried to find like smarter ways to write letters. Have someone else do it, but a lot of them at once.
I imagine that like somebody was sitting there writing their letter. It's like, man. It's like, I know it's so easy to communicate with somebody over this letter. It'd only take me like 3 weeks to, like, you know, send them some of my thoughts.
Someone could literally die in the time it would take to get that letter.
But what if I didn't have to spend all this time writing and I could just like get this card that has words and be like, oh yeah, I feel those, and then I'll just sign it and it's like, I feel this for you. Yeah. Here, Mr. Ponyman, take this to my love.
Mr. Ponyman. The Pony Express. Is that
yes.
Mr. Ponyman.
Take this to my beloved. She'll receive it in like a month.
Man, why can't postmen still deliver stuff on horseback? I feel like that'd be way more efficient than whatever they're doing now.
I don't know if you've seen horses, but they're a lot of work.
I have. And I think that they're infinitely majestic animals, but they're fucking horrifying. I cannot imagine anybody who decides to go casually horseback riding.
It's very much a rich people thing.
They're giant animals.
Yeah,
they're fucking huge. Like I went horseback riding literally once in my life, and the whole time I was scared shitless because I was a child too, so I was particularly small. And these, like, it was a monster. It was a giant muscle monster.
Yeah.
And they didn't I was an 8-year-old kid. Like, it wasn't gonna listen to me.
One horse muscle is like probably the size of your chest.
Right.
Like that's just one. And they probably have multiple muscles working their different body parts.
Right. And if they get even like a little bit testy with you, you can be brain dead or just regular dead.
Isn't that how Christopher Reeves got injured and it got paralyzed and he like get bucked off a horse or something?
I honestly don't know, but I believe it. Horses can do that shit to you. Horses will paralyze a motherfucker.
Yeah. So on that note,
stay away from horses.
Yeah, stay
no
away from
horseback rides on Valentine's Day, young lovers.
Please don't. You don't want to die.
Yeah. Also, that poor horse.
On that note, if we could switch over to our like little interlude that we're gonna have, Brian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of the extra complicated production value, look what we've got in store for you.
Yeah. So.
Fade on into that one, brother. And now we're back.
Thank you for that little interlude.
Yeah, we have commercial breaks.
Yeah. Oh,
that's how hard we tried on this one.
Yeah,
the camera died twice in the last one, so this time we're like, you know what? Commercial breaks.
Yeah, just in
case the camera dies.
But so now let's go into romantic holidays and Valentine's Day equivalents across the world. So Vin, you're gonna start because we're gonna start with South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea. And I'm doing this because
been to Korea.
Right, I definitely have a personal love for South Korea, particularly Seoul. I spent some time in Seoul. I was lucky enough to do that in 2015. Met some great people. But more than that, I wasn't actually there for February 14th, but I was there for this day that they call Pepero Day. And so for anyone who's a fan of like your Japanese snacks, like you Pocky particularly, Pepero is effectively the South Korean equivalent of Pocky. It's like a thin wafer stick with like that's been dipped in chocolate, and then might have also some other things on it and stuff like that.
Wafers are really good.
Yeah,
wafers are underrated, and
I want to know how they're made.
I don't know.
But you know what I would love is if just like a giant ball of a wafer rolled into like a chocolate river of some kind, and then maybe picked up some toppings along the way.
I have something later, but I got something for you.
You don't say.
You will see. Brian, it looks like you're pulling up these Pepperos. Can you?
Yeah. So this is Pepero, right? So we have a picture here that Brian has been so kind as to pull up for us, or a series of pictures. This is So it's basically Pocky. With a little bit more going on, especially from what I saw there. But
yeah, those are really nice looking.
So Pepero Day, I think from my recollection, happens in either October or November. And it's basically just like a day to treat yourself to Pepero. It's like ridiculous. Buy chocolates for yourself, just indulge. And I think that someone explained it to me as ostensibly kind of like a single person treat yourself type holiday. I'm not sure how true that is.
Nice, though.
Yeah, no, it's great. We need more of that in America. But I honestly cannot speak to how true that is. I'm not like a Korean national or anything like that. But I was told that while I was there, and it was a day that happened. So you can come back to us. So that's Pepero Day. So that was like what prompted me to think about that, because on that Pepero Day, some of my coworkers of mine when I was in Korea were telling me about White Day, which is where men get their girlfriends like lots of presents and beautiful things and stuff like that.
Brian seems to be shaking his head no.
But
no, the image he's looking at.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is a little weird, but continue.
Yeah, sorry, but White Day is like this day in South Korea where on March 14th, so the month after Valentine's Day, is where you get your girlfriend all this like fabulous stuff and like all this really nice stuff. You can just like shower with stuff, but it's in direct response to Valentine's Day, where women have to get their boyfriend stuff. So like where we think about Valentine's Day in America, generally speaking, we think about it as like a man showering his wife with gifts or something like that. It seems to always be kind of like a patron holiday where it's like the man will give you things and he will take care of you and take you out to dinner. In South Korea, it's the opposite. It's like the woman will, just shower gifts upon her man. And then the following month she gets her day in March.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So they have Valentine's Day. They have White Day the next month.
Yeah. But weren't you also? I think you were saying that there's there's some kind of like cultural line where the man is supposed to spend like he's supposed to outdo.
He's supposed to outdo her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that part of it is like she gets him like a bunch of treats and stuff on Valentine's Day, and then on White Day, he is supposed to do the same, but then like also like a bigger gift, like everything that she did, and then a little bit more, like because it's like this is your lady, and you're supposed to provide for her. And then in April, there's a Black Day, which is for the single people, where it's like you're just like sad. You're just supposed to eat like black bean noodles. Just be like, my heart is full of sadness and emptiness. I'm just gonna stuff my face with black bean noodles.
Well, I mean, I think it's like an interesting like signifier. Like if you're at a restaurant eating the black noodles on Black Day by yourself, maybe that signifies to other single people. It's like, hey, I'm also sad and lonely, and maybe we could not do that together.
Yeah, and then maybe you celebrate one Black Day in the same cafe as some other person celebrating Black Day, and then next year you're celebrating Valentine's Day and White Day instead.
Oh yeah, that's the dream,
right? Literally the dream, I'm sure, for so many people.
Yes. Let's see.
And so that's just like one of... So Valentine's Day has really taken off across the world in general. But different cultures have already got their own romantic holidays. Like some of them get tied together. Like the White Day and Valentine's Day in South Korea. And also I think in Japan they do it. But then there's other countries that have different romantic days that are like completely different. Like set up completely different. Like there's one...
I know we were looking at China, which is interesting,
and that goes based on like the lunar calendar instead.
I think they call it's the double seventh festival. That's what I'm saying.
The seventh night festival I have here.
And basically it would be on the seventh day of the seventh month in the lunar calendar that they would decide to shower each other with gifts. And let's see, what does it say here? The traditions that they're supposed to do. So they have China kind of has their long cultural history, and it says
the oldest country in the world.
Yeah, showing skills, specifically demonstrating dexterity.
Demonstrating your worth.
Yeah, well, I mean,
is it the first part of the dentist system? Way to go, China. Demonstrate your value.
I mean, I would assume that you want to be like, hey, well, I'm a suitable mate. Like,
look at these skills that I have.
I got these dexterous fingers. I can get you all these gifts.
All the better for woodworking, baby.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till I have to build my own axe.
People love a carpenter. Jesus.
Let's see what else.
Is that an image that explains let's pull that up. It's like a very basic explainer.
And if you want to read that out for us, Brian.
Yeah, maybe zoom in or not yet. Just read it out loud.
I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but you guys already covered that it takes place on the 7th day of the 7th month of the Chinese calendar. It originated from the tragic tale of two star-crossed lovers who were forced apart due to their social status, yet were allowed to reunite once a year.
I think I remember hearing that story like in a school fable.
I think that Avatar: The Last Airbender did a knockoff of that story.
That one
for Ba Sing Se.
Apparently, single people prepare fruit in hope of future love on this day, whilst couples pray for prosperity.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Lovely. See, like it seems like there's so much more optimism in the romantic holidays abroad.
Yes. Let's see. Now let's move on to another country, South Africa. South Africa had an interesting one. Yeah, because apparently South Africa, the South African Valentine's Day, is actually based in Roman tradition.
Lupercalia.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
The same Roman tradition we talked about earlier.
But I think it said They interpreted it a little differently. There was something about the women.
I think it's more focused on like the mysticism of the women. I think than the men. This is we have an article here from the Huffington Post. So if you feel like any of our information is wrong, take it up with them or take it up with Ariana.
Yeah.
So it says that it's customary for women in South Africa to wear their hearts on their sleeves on February 14th. Literally, they pin the names of their love interests on their shirt sleeves. Which mimics an ancient Roman tradition from Lupercalia. In some cases, this is how South African men learn of their secret admirers.
That sounds adorable.
It sounds fantastic. And also, I have to say, that would clear up so much confusion.
Yeah.
So I think that all men, no matter what country you're from, we're all kind of fucking clueless, generally speaking.
We're pretty dense.
Yeah, so I think that if you took out some of the guessing of it, it's like, oh, there's a girl who literally has my name on her sleeve. She must like me. Well, that kind of solves a couple of problems of miscommunication that seem to occur everywhere.
Yeah, ladies, shoot your shot.
Yeah. It's it's 2019. Feminism. #feminism. Shoot your shot. Do it. Shoot for the stars, girl.
Or shoot for a boyfriend.
Oh no,
that's kind of the goal.
Shoot for one less depressing day.
And let's see. And I think we finally wanted to end on Italy, which had a similar Valentine's Day system to us in kind of their commercialization of Valentine's Day.
So Italians, they used to celebrate it as the Spring Festival, which obviously probably also had some drawings from Lupercalia because, Rome, right? But it says that the young and amorous people would gather outside in the gardens to kind of just like sing poetry to each other and cavort and gallivant and things like that. But then once the commercialization of it, like they celebrate Valentine's Day, but the same as we do generally, like they exchange gifts. They have romantic dinners, probably like a nice pasta dinner, and very specifically, which I think is the most interesting thing we found out in our research for the Italian Valentine's Day, is that they give each other a very particular kind of chocolate, and it's called I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation. I'm Irish, not Italian, but it's the Bassi Perugina, which is Leo, how would you describe the Bassi Perugina?
It's like if you took a Ferrero Rocher and then you put another hazelnut on top of it
for no reason at all.
Yeah, no reason, and then you just dip the whole thing in chocolate. So it has,
that's
if
the
Brian,
guy.
You can pull up these images.
You can pull up the whole website if you want to, because that's really what I want to land on. I want to show them the whole website for this possibility again, because it's it's a decent website. It's one of these like high end chocolatiers. They only make this particular chocolate, at least from what I can gather on the website, and they have like the whole story of the Bassi Perugina, and it started like 1922. From this like older Italian lady, like Lisa Stromboli or something like that, Strigoli, and it's grown and grown and grown and grown, and now it is like this ubiquitous Valentine's cultural chocolate, and it's a dark chocolate too, which I think is interesting because you don't see a lot of dark chocolate. I think on Valentine's. Yeah,
there we go, Brian. If you can switch over to show some of the audience.
So this is the Bassi Perugina. So notice also that both Bassi and Perugina are restricted copyrights.
Yes. I think we were looking through, and I'm pretty sure this treat of hers or whoever this company,
like Luisa Spagnoli.
Yeah. It's kind of just a modification of like another treat, and it looks incredibly similar and probably tastes incredibly similar to the Ferrero Rocher. I think they do make a point out of making it at a dark chocolate though.
Right. So I guess they want to differentiate themselves from Ferrero Rocher.
But they try to make it they try to attach the chocolate to the holiday, so that similarly to out here when we go buy a bunch of chocolates and a bunch of cards and whatnot, and in Korea and I don't know if China has a specific product, but across the world, different products. This is Italy's version of commercialization of Valentine's Day. So I think those were the ones that we really wanted to cover.
Right, because I think that... So, well, just before we leave the Bassi Perugina, I have to say, I am a giant fan of Ferrero Rocher.
Yes.
I think that they are a fucking stellar chocolatier. They only make one fucking product. The fucking Ferrero Rocher. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that little golden ball of pure happiness.
Wonderful.
But none of this is what I really feel the need to express, except the Bassi Perugina is such a fucking clear knockoff of a superior product, right? The thing is that it started in like 1922, according to that website, and Ferrero Rocher did not start until like the middle of World War II. So you could argue probably that Ferrero Rocher took the hazelnut and chocolate mix, but probably not, because again, it's light chocolate, it's milk chocolate.
Yeah.
But this is all relevant in this particular discussion because in me and Leo's research of this product, we're like, this is just a bullshit Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of line it all up, because I wanted to make sure that the timelines weren't like they were stealing from one another, we went to Ferrero Rocher and we determined that not only is Ferrero Rocher a superior product, it did come out after the Bassi Paradina, so take from that what you will, but not only is it a superior product, but they have vastly superior web design and vastly superior marketing.
Oh, man.
Bring up the Ferrero Rocher website, please, if you can.
Yeah.
It might ruin a little bit of a bit here, but just here, to bring up the story behind Ferrero Rocher. It's the first link on those 4 things right down there.
There we go.
Right. So, yeah, just bring that up. But look at this. This is the history of Ferrero Rocher, and it's not really like a super in-depth thing, but it's like this little slideshow of images that takes you through time. And the whole website is like this. It's just so well done. But it's all in service of one product that really doesn't need to be marketed. It's Ferrero Rocher. You know what it is.
And it's a very fantastic website. Oh man, look at that beautiful.
Look at that
imagery. I don't even know what that is, but
I'm pretty sure that's a hazelnut plant.
I want to put my face on it.
Yeah. Look at that. Look, like this was not done by Squarespace. This was a quality web designer that was like, hey, you know what? I'll probably do this if you just pay me in Ferrero Rocher.
You know, it might be worth it. And on that note, I think Brian, you should switch back over.
On that note, we're gonna segue real tightly from this into the commercialization of Valentine's Day after these short messages. So we jokingly led into this video with that we're open to sponsorship. We're really just trying to get Ferrero Rocher to sponsor us. Look through this entire podcast just in front of a pyramid of Ferrero Rocher.
Don't even pay us in money. Just Ferrero Rocher.
Give us Ferrero Rocher. Also, I'm just going to say Ferrero Rocher. I don't think that's the right way to pronounce it, but it sounds nicer coming off my teeth. Ferrero Rocher.
No, that's
it's Ferrero Rocher.
Is it Rocher or is it Rocher?
It's Rocher. We heard it in the commercial earlier. I was also
Ferrero Rocher, right?
Yep.
Okay, Ferrero Rocher.
Right.
Yeah. And I was
nobody taught me that. I just learned it from my love of Ferrero Rocher.
We were discussing, and I was just like, the thing about Ferrero Rocher is that you can't buy Ferrero Rocher for yourself.
Right.
Like if you buy Ferrero Rocher for yourself, it's like it's almost sad.
Yeah.
But you can get yourself, like, they have like little bodegas at corner stores, like a deli or whatever. They have like maybe the one Ferrero Rocher, and you can buy yourself
buy a single one. Like that's like a treat to you.
Treat.
Yeah.
But Ferrero Rochers are only to be gifted.
Literally, even on the website. I wish we had gone back to that for a second, but it's all right. The Ferrero Rocher website, it's all gifts. It's always implying you are giving this to someone.
Yeah.
You are not buying these for your own home or for yourself. You're giving them to someone, and they really only make them in gift boxes.
Yeah.
Every way that you buy a Ferrero Rocher looks kind of like a gift.
Yes, which then kind of gets into some of the commercialization aspect.
Brian here had a box of 50 of them. Did it come in like a little plastic container, a little plastic box?
And they were gifted.
It was presented like a present, right?
It came in the most wonderful looking box. I felt incredibly special, despite the fact that they were for my mother and not for me. She's also probably only had 2 or 3, whereas I've had like half the box by myself.
Right. Which is what happens. Like.
But it was a gift to the family, you know?
Right. Yeah,
you can't expect one woman to eat 50 Ferrero Rochers on her own.
And remember, we're your brothers.
No, I cannot. We definitely need help.
Oh, you got it. So now just kind of segueing off of that.
But yeah, as was like saying, like Ferrero Rocher on their website, when we went to like kind of the gift ideas thing, they have like many different like instructions for like different gift ideas, and like some of them are like simple, like you just fold.
Can you go back to the Ferrero Rocher? It's like, so we should sew this.
Yeah, it was just like some paper hearts that you can fold up or something, and to like a whole, I don't know, like a platter that you would make and give that as a gift.
Like a real simple way of like. Yeah, just presenting them, just like be like, hey, here's a little bit of flair you can add to your table dressing.
Yeah, and then there was like a whole.
Just go back to the main site.
Yeah, there should be like gift ideas. There we go.
Tips and ideas. There's a tips and ideas.
Oh, look at that bunny napkin one.
The bunny napkin.
Right. Look at that, and it's simple. Like that's dead simple.
And like, and
it tells you how long it'll take you to do it.
It's and they're all wonderfully photographed, and like they look simple enough.
This is the power of your product, that you literally only sell one item, and it's the Ferrero Rocher like nugget of joy. But so that they're like, hey, yeah, I know that we only sell you one thing, but here's like 14 different ways to display it to your lover.
Yeah,
it's great. Are you kidding me? If you presented your partner with a bunny rabbit napkin with a Ferrero Rocher in the middle, that's like you're taking a one-way trip to Pound Town that night. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Look at it. It looks so elegant, these instructional videos.
But so simple.
Yeah. And
yeah, like anybody could do this. We could do this probably live right now if we had thought about it before just now.
Yeah, maybe we should have. Maybe one day we'll come back to Ferrero Rocher.
One day we'll do like an arts and crafts hour.
Yeah, it'll be the behind the scenes video.
Yeah, we learned that we have some very passionate feelings about Ferrero Rocher while doing
If we ever get a Patreon going, that'll be part of our patrons only content. Napkins and decorations.
If you give us enough money a month, we'll give you we'll bunny wrap the Ferrero Rocher, and then we'll send it to you.
Give us enough money for us to buy Ferrero Rochers for each other, because remember, they're gifts. You can't buy them for yourselves. No. That's what we'll do.
But this is kind of just like this is just kind of more the upper scale excellent work of just the general commercialization which companies do when they try to sell you what to do for Valentine's Day. And like in American culture, how we kind of naturally just our default Valentine's Day is very much like just the man that gets the heart box of chocolates, the card, and like a thing of roses, and then you can hold it all in one arm, and then you come to and you knock the door, and it's like, look at the gifts I got you.
Look at all these nice things.
Let's have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Right.
And I don't know, do whatever.
I feel like when I was growing up, I saw way more like just commercials and stuff telling me to go out and get Valentine's shit for people.
Yeah.
I very rarely
like
had
Hershey's Kisses
on Valentine's
had great
Day
commercials back in the day, because those they try to put as like gifts as well.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Hershey's. I saw like even breakfast cereal commercials that were like, treat your Valentine's Day to a healthy breakfast. Like I think I would see like restaurants would do like Valentine's Day specials that they would advertise. Like, you know,
I know that
2 for Tuesdays at Applebee's, except now it's like 2 for Blues Days because you're single.
I know that I live like a block away from a White Castle, and I don't have the card.
One of the earliest White Castles in Queens, apparently, right?
Yeah, I saw some recent history about it.
We'll do a Queens history episode one day.
But the White Castle is taking reservations for Valentine's Day. If you and your loved one want to have a reserved Valentine's Day White Castle dinner together.
So is Waffle House.
Waffle House is doing it too?
Yeah. White Castle and Waffle House are accepting Valentine's Day reservations.
If you want to feel fancy but not spend a lot of money, you can transfer that over, Brian, and see what you're looking at.
This can be you.
Yeah, well, look at that. They look so happy in that White Castle with that frame.
But this is it's
a frame made out of White Castle boxes. I didn't notice that.
That is so great. What good marketing.
Do the boxes say love?
Is that a salad?
Love.
Is that a
on the right? Salad? Is that a sponsored ad, or is that a salad from White Castle?
Oh, no, we're ignoring that. White Castle doesn't have salads.
Okay.
It's okay, just cut that out.
But so this is actually kind of concordant with the research that we found in terms of the diminishment and the commercialization of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So ultimately what we're building to here is that we found, so we were discussing for a couple of weeks that we have just been seeing less and less Valentine's programming, advertising, encouragement at all, generally.
And I feel particularly like...
Except for that fucking romantic comedy that's coming out.
Yeah. Actually, that was going to be the thing I said. Like, the only thing that I've really seen in Valentine's Day, this kind of area is, I saw one, like, local ad on New York 1, like, for some, like, local florist who's just like, oh, get the flowers and the chocolate, and, you know, just, that's a whole package, and you send it to your loved one. And then there was, like, another one with, like, 1-800-Flowers, and I was getting that on my podcast commercials. And where they're just like, here, buy your loved one flowers, you know.
Right.
So then they can give us money for the podcast. The
building that I work in, I'm not sure if it's owned like by a particular realty firm or like a realty firm has an office in the same building. But the lobby of the building is actually, there's this table out that says, you know, mention this particular realty firm and get like 20% off like a bouquet of flowers or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. But
that's it. That's all the marketing I've seen.
Yeah, and then the only kind of like really push for like Valentine's Day. I don't even know if it's Valentine's Day, but there's this movie, this romantic comedy movie that's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, with Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson, called "Isn't It Romantic?" And it's a satire film. It's a satire film because like she's like aware that she's in a romantic comedy and like how ridiculously romantic and absurd everybody's being, and she's you know, she's just aware of it, and like she's weirded out by it.
And how it's PG-13.
Yeah, and it's like super PG-13. But that's like it. And then even then, it's the joke. Like the whole idea of being romantic is the absurd joke to it.
And the only ad that I've seen for that is a Subway ad on my stop on 52nd Street.
I've only gotten it occasionally on Facebook ads. Like that's it.
Yeah, I haven't. So Brian has it pulled up here. We can just like watch a clip of it briefly. I don't want to watch the whole thing or anything.
Yeah.
But this will be the first footage that I have seen from this film.
Yeah, and like it doesn't look bad. Like, cause it has that guy from Workaholics.
Rebel Wilson is pretty entertaining.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson is good, and this woman, I don't know who her name is, but I've seen her in a bunch of things, and she looks like she plays like a really
She's from Quantico.
Quantico,
wonderful.
Okay.
She like, it looks, her comedic acting looks a little stiff, but I think that might be some of the point. Either way, like it looks like it's not going to be a horrible movie. Like, I if I had a date, I might go see this movie, but I don't, so I won't.
Right. So that's enough of that. But yeah, so you know, I'm sure it's gonna be serviceable.
And it feels really weird because, or at least like I feel like you can agree with me that growing up we saw a lot more Valentine's Day media.
Way more. Am I
coming up?
I'm supposed to speak into it this way? This seems so much clearer. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. But then it's in my fucking face.
It's all right. Yeah.
Your mom is always telling me to get the mic out of my face.
She's right. She's right, but also you gotta talk.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Thank you for your advice, Mom.
Yeah, no, thanks, Susan. Anyway, so there's been a lot less commercialization, but in our thinking about that, we're like, well, let's see if that's true. Let's see if that's a common denominating thought across the board. And as it turns out, there's like a couple of interesting bits and pieces. So we found a study from, what was it? It was National Retail Federation. Is that it? The NRF?
Yeah, the National Retail Federation. They do a yearly Valentine's Day economy report. You know, that's kind of their thing. And they were saying how I think it was since 2016, there's been a 4% decrease in participants in Valentine's Day.
Yeah, which is a 4% increase over 3 years, which is insane.
Yeah, that's like a steep drop. And over
since 2007 or 8, whenever they started asking these questions, there's been a percentage point decrease every year.
Yeah, and it's totaled at 12% since 2007. So there are 12% less people celebrating this.
At large. Yeah. So people just generally, like the couples or single people who are asked, like, are you going to do anything for it? 12% fewer have responded that they will.
There we go. If you could pull up that graph, I feel like that's something we had looked at.
It might not be that one particularly, though.
But that looks like a nicer graph, actually.
Yeah, let's do that one. So, but more than that, what we're also seeing, this one doesn't show the thing with the other one, right? Yeah, this is only showing the decrease.
Yeah.
But what's interesting most about it is that while fewer actual people have been participating in Valentine's Day, those who have been participating are spending more money. So there's some other percentage increase in, oh no, why are we frozen?
Oh no, is the camera dead? What happened? Hold on.
No, God. No. We promised this would never happen again. No, I don't think tapping it is going to be the trick.
I had to try my best, and that's all I had.
I wonder if there's still audio. I hope there's still audio.
Definitely still audio.
Okay, well, there's still audio. Sorry, whoever one person is watching us this evening. We had promised ourselves and one another that this was not going to happen again. But it might just be like a temporary glitch from our fading back and forth. Yeah. Either way, we can linger on this image for now, I think. But the idea here is that we have seen a decrease in the amount of people who actually participate in the holiday, but an increase in the spending that they do for those who do participate. And what's more particular is that we don't see like an increase in spending across the board, but we see that the spending has started to change too. Whereas, you know, typically what the spending was done on, you know, items, jewelry, chocolates, things of that nature. But now what we're seeing these days is that people are spending more money on events or like day trips, something like that. Like you take someone out for like a day spa, or you go on a vacation together, and that's what you're spending the money on now instead of buying like trinkets, baubles, things to shower your affection upon somebody with in like a physical way.
Yeah, and as you were saying, like,
we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Less technical difficulties this time.
Hey, listen, we solved that one pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, yes, we did.
Figured it out.
But similarly, like as you were saying, less people are spending more money. Or did you get to that point? Did I?
Yeah, I was just resting on that point there. So,
yeah,
but
less, which is like, as somebody who's like politically active and like definitely left leaning, that's like, you know, definitely building in some like, you know, some eat the rich type resentment in my mind.
100%.
But like, that's still absurd. Like almost every year, except for like the last few years in the graph, it showed that people like
that's the stupidest fucking graphic, by the way.
Yeah.
Put that on screen real quick. Sorry to cut you off there, but Brian is
doing a very poor job of
this is the dumbest fucking Why did this need to be expressed in a graphic? Why?
They could have expressed so many more things.
There were like actual good points that you might want to visualize. Why this one? Mm-hmm. Fucking hell. Yeah. I respect the NRF. They do good work. Yeah, not with this graphic.
It's excellent analytics that we're getting here, but you know, still, please, you know,
hire someone for your fucking graphics department who went to school.
But either way, more people or less people are spending more money, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I believe, Brian, if you could look up, there might be a Finder article.
Wealthy people. That's
and that's what it seems to be. Because like I looked up an article on like Finder.com about spending during Valentine's Day, and it says that the average, it broke down the average money spent like from this person to this person, and it appears that the largest group being spent on is husbands to wives.
Shocker.
Obviously. Possibly, and it said that husbands to wives, they get apparently an average of $356 in gifts per year, and then it goes down to I think children, then friends, then cat, then dog.
Yeah. Then cat, then dog.
Yeah, because apparently people spend $15 more on average on a cat than they do on a dog. Which you had said as a cat owner that it's more expensive to own a cat than it is to own a dog.
Well, yeah, there's just more options in terms of buying stuff for dogs. It's just purely true. More, I think more people have dogs than cats in America at least. So like just for sake of argument, if you go to the Rite Aid there on the Boulevard or
near you
on Roosevelt, yeah. There's just more dog stuff. Like there's more dog treats, toys, everything, and then you have like a smattering of shit for cats compared to like a whole fucking shitload of stuff for dogs.
Yeah, the music stopped. If you can get that music back up and running. But actually, that I feel like we should kind of cut this here, and we get to like the next part, which is kind of a continuation of this. Because you know, Valentine's Day isn't this like weird decline where, you know, people are spending money. So when people spend money, somebody wins at the end of the day, and we're going to discuss who that is. But right now we're going to have a small little break. We're going to have one of our commercial breaks from a celebrity today. Ooh. And you know, hopefully We'll be back to discuss who wins
Fucking
Valentine's
celebrity.
Day.
Piece of shit.
All right, you can go, Brian.
Yeah, we're ready to spice things up.
You do know you have to know your partner's limitations.
I agree. When I was younger, I used to make a lot of stupid mistakes. But I'm ready to learn more.
Get informed. Help stop violence against women. Visit a romantic depot near you and pick up your free pamphlet.
Thanks to Romantic Depot, I now know how to treat women with dignity and respect.
Visit Romantic Depot Rockland. Go to romanticdepot.com for directions.
Make sure you go visit Romantic Depot for all your Valentine's gifts.
All right, so welcome back.
What a fucking goon Tekashi 6ix9ine is.
Oh man, so I don't know if you remember, Vin, but the commercial that we just saw with Tekashi 6ix9ine filmed at kind of a local romantic
sex shop.
Yeah, sex shop in our area called Romantic Depot.
Right. Well, it wasn't this one.
Yeah, it wasn't the one that was in the city, which our friend used to work at actually.
Well, there were a couple because so we had a friend that worked there. More particularly, we had one a couple blocks away.
Oh wait. Oh
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
That was the Romantic Depot.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God, I
so
didn't even notice.
people who are from the city will be familiar. There was a terrible fire a month or two ago on
destroyed
44th Street on Queens Boulevard.
Yeah, it destroyed a whole block.
Destroyed
it was
like a whole
tragic.
corner of this. Destroyed one of the oldest bars in the strip here.
Yeah.
One of the more popular bars, Sidetracks, and an entire brand new Romantic Depot that had like just grand opened there like 2 or 3 weeks prior to that event.
And on that note, because you had mentioned to me that there was only one person there. There's some black girl. Was that the same black girl?
No.
Okay.
And there was two. There were like two black girls working there, but they were like the most disinterested employees of any place I'd ever seen.
Yeah, for the like 2 weeks that it was there, I never saw anybody walk in. They even had like a secret side exit.
Well, that's the thing. That's just the exit. That's the door. So I walked in there once just to be like, what's the deal?
Mm-hmm.
And they tried really hard to make a sale on me, and I get it, new business, and not a lot of foot traffic probably. And I went to go leave out the front door that I came in. She's like, "No, you got to go out this side door." And I was like, "That's fucking bizarre."
That is a little weird. Well, it was in a location that used to be a Radio Shack that took forever to close. I think it was like one of the last Radio Shacks I ever saw open.
By the end of it was just a shack.
Yeah, it really was. But also, like, this neighborhood's like kind of really family oriented,
right?
So I wouldn't really have expected that place to do well. Hopefully they got some insurance money out of it. Hopefully they didn't skip out an insurance.
So my first thought that the whole thing was an insurance scam from the Romantic Depot, because it was like a brand new high. It looked like there was a lot of budget put into it. There was some really clean, and there was some bells and whistles. And then, like 3 weeks later, it was burnt to the ground. Yeah. So I thought it might have been an insurance scam. It doesn't seem like that's the case. Yeah. We probably would have heard about it by now.
It was a bit too tragic for just an insurance scam.
Yeah.
But off that topic, Tekashi 6ix9ine,
now in jail.
Promoting respectful treatment of women in sexual acts.
Yeah, which I feel like that was like a direct response to the allegations against him for like having sex with a minor.
I don't even
engaging in sexual relations with a minor, or whatever the story was there.
It was such a bizarre and like low quality commercial that it just.
But it felt like a commercial that aired in like the early 90s.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was.
And I'm pretty like that looks like so recent. It looks like it was for this Valentine's Day commercial blitz.
Yeah, Jones' Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage has a higher production quality than that one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's also probably a better business.
Yeah. But let's finally stop talking about this sex shop at Tekashi 6ix9ine and let's get back to who wins Valentine's Day.
So as you know, everything has to be a competition. There are winners and losers everywhere in life. Let's figure out who definitively wins this romantic holiday.
And hint, it's not people. It's corporations. So we're gonna figure out
or is it? Because I don't know that I agree with that. But what I will say, in my opinion, that I was surprised because I would say that it's not jewelry companies. I would say that once upon a time and for a long time that they were definitely the pinnacle of the industry of the Valentine's holiday, but not they. I think that they have less market share at least. Well, so I think that they're not as culturally ubiquitous.
Well, here's the thing, Brian, if you can actually pull up these charts now. So
get off your phone, computer boy.
They don't know, and you didn't need to tell them.
I could see it. We brought you here for a job, sir. I know that we're not paying in anything except abuse
and beer.
Oh yeah, and beer, a little bit of beer. But as we go straight to the actual point, interestingly enough, you say jewelry is kind of like the lower end share now, because although it is in fact the lowest share of like participation within the system, it is in fact the highest amount of money being spent.
Yeah, and there's some data here that speaks to that.
Yeah, so it says that people spent $3.9 billion on jewelry this last 2018 Valentine's Day, or whatever metric this is.
Yeah.
While only 18% of people actually bought jewelry.
Right. So it used to be something like 30% or 25% if you like went back through like the whole history of it. But no, yeah, so it has seen a fall in percentage of market share in terms of this being the item to get your spouse or your partner or what have you. And now people are trending more towards event spending, like they're doing experiences and events as opposed to like dinners out or jewelry or trinkets and baubles.
Yes, and I think that also shows in the charts here that right under jewelry, in amount of money spent or amount of participation, I'm not sure which one, but
is like dinners. I think.
Yeah, is dinners or nights out or kind of like evenings out, as I think they call it.
But the NRF particularly they categorize events as different. Like they say that they're events or experiences, and they said that they'd only kind of recently started measuring that metric. So I don't think it's actually in these graphs, but they said it in their press release, or in like their breakdown of the analysis, where people are generally spending more people are spending on events and experiences as opposed to items.
Yeah, which I think is very indicative of the trend of as millennials start to take reign and really start to become the economic force of or at least America. I don't know, maybe at the Western world. I don't know how the population kind of distribution is for other countries, but American millennials, like as we're coming into age, as we're almost all of us are employed with expendable money points of our lives, like we are valuing different things, and we're valuing it with our money, and it is not jewelry for the most of us.
Because I think that kind of ties in also to the fact that millennials are killing diamonds or killing, I guess, the jewelry industry at large.
Yeah.
Because I think part of that is because more millennials are aware that a lot of these diamonds are conflict diamonds, and people don't want to be supporting industries that are backed on the murder and mistreatment of others.
I think it's even simpler than that.
But I think it's also like people just don't want fucking diamonds. Like
diamonds are bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
it's a shiny rock.
The only really nice thing about diamonds is that they're super hard. They're good for industrial purposes. Like
they're good because they hold value.
Yeah, and I've been looking into value stores, but gold, silver,
buy gold.
At least gold has
there's gold in them there hills.
Gold has a hard use. Even if we all decide to give up on gold as a currency or whatever,
still a great conductor.
Yeah, it is. Electronic companies need gold.
Yeah,
because higher end electronics need gold in their circuitries.
For you viewers at home, smash open your computer, take a look at your circuit boards. There's gold in them. them there hills.
Them there circuits.
Them there circuits.
Yeah,
do it. Break open your computer in the middle of this video.
Yeah, and it's very interesting.
Brian's trying right now. He's digging for gold in that screen.
And it's interesting to see how kind of the economy is shifting as we really kind of pull in. But also the jewelry thing, similarly with the lesser participants, higher spending, it's a little jarring to me in the same kind of eat the rich type mentality, because that means fewer people are spending more money on jewelry, which ultimately kind of bullshit. It's pretty things, but they're spending so much money on it.
I have to imagine that those fewer people, like we discussed before, they must be the boomers. They must be wealthy. For you to be the smaller percentage group spending the higher percentage money is reflective of the 1% problem, right?
Yeah,
it's on a macro level, but it's different. It's barely different, because it's you cannot have the fewest amount of people spending the most amount of money if they are not some of the highest earners in the pool.
Yeah, and I think something maybe to go along with this, because I don't know if it's just boomers, it might be Gen Xers as well, because as we were looking through statistics, it said that the group that spends the most money on Valentine's Day is the 35 to 45 group, which is at this point like very early millennials, but for the most part
or like later, early in the millennial cycle, I guess older millennials now, like elder millennials, and like the tail end of Gen X, so, people who probably have wives or husbands or steady partners, settled. Maybe they might have homes and things like that.
You would at 35, you would want to be settled, like family, wife,
right, if that's what
good
you're
job,
into.
Whatever. But
catch me at 35 doing the exact same thing, sitting on a couch talking about bullshit.
Hey, if we can make a career out of this, we can do this forever.
Somebody sponsor us. Ferrero Rocher, please.
Give us some
Ferrero Rocher, please.
But also, Brian,
can you imagine if our microphones had little gold tinfoil hats? Oh man, we're gonna do that at some point.
Yeah,
one day we're gonna do a Halloween episode, and we're just gonna dress up like Ferrero Rocher. We've got the right body.
We just get the gold foil. It's going to be so noisy.
Oh my god, I'm just going to crinkle up the whole show. Oh, it'll be great.
As I was asking Brian to pull up this little chart here from Finder.com about statistics on who gets spent the most on, and it's like just different charts, like going down of who gets spent the most on. And I believe at the top it should say wives.
Yeah.
And I think it should be like wives are somewhere around $350 per year.
It's going down. So they're starting with the least and they're building down to the most. So the wife is at the bottom of the list there.
No, because now we can switch it up.
I fixed it.
Okay, so everything I just said is a lie. Okay.
But it's like it going from top to bottom is like wives, and I think next is like just regular significant other.
No, next is secret for those affairs.
Secret. So it's wife, mistress. That is the spending. Wow. Well, they wrote it in a secret. Secret spending. That's insane.
I mean, you got it.
Whose virtue are you protecting?
Yo, people get caught on those credit card bills.
Right, but this is the NRF. Like, this is it's not. It's Finder.com, right? This is a resource site.
I mean, but that's
secret spending.
It's important to sometimes maybe you want to hit the discreet market.
Right. This is part of the Valentine's military budget that they can't tell us about.
Maybe you want to.
These are those Cupid arrows.
What is it? Maybe you want to have your like $250 bill to go like.
Wait, is it literally like wife, secret, kids, girlfriend?
Give us a rundown.
No, I lied. Okay, I fixed it for real this time.
Okay,
and it is wife coming in at $360 or so
on the average spend. Okay.
Coming in at $280.07. Myself coming in at $235.56.
Damn.
Girlfriend. Trailing closely behind. Friends.
Wait. So wait, I'm sorry. The spending on self was slightly higher than the spending on girlfriend.
Absolutely, it is because I am number one.
Yo, if I don't have a ring on you yet, like you can. I'm treating myself.
Is that the metric? Because wife is the highest, and I get that.
Yeah,
fine.
you get tax.
But
breaks
I thought girlfriend would be the following.
No, you don't get no tax breaks with a girlfriend. You get tax breaks with a spouse.
Yeah, but if you want your girlfriend to become a spouse, shouldn't you treat her to nice things on Valentine's Day? Isn't that like the old goal?
Girlfriend is spouse material, man.
Yeah.
Then why are you dating her?
That's something.
In the whole idea of dating is kind of just like auditioning for marriage.
Not always. Sometimes.
No, I agree. It's not for me, but like the general scope of courtship and marriage and things like that.
I mean, that's
because when you date someone, it's either you end up together forever or you split up, right?
Yeah, some people just date.
Some people do shit for funsies, dude.
What the fuck is fun? I haven't heard of that.
Quickly run down the rest of the list.
Well, girlfriend, friends at 208, husband at 206, secret at 160.13.
Okay, so
other family members at $146, boyfriend at a measly $105. Holy shit!
Well, because boyfriends generally also, we've all been boyfriends here.
I haven't never really gotten a great Valentine.
But have you ever asked for one, or have you always been like, you don't need to get me anything, I'm good, thanks, babe?
I got a pair of shoes this one time. And it was dope.
Sure, but generally speaking, I'm sure that we've all been like, no, I don't need anything, you're good.
I've never said anything about it, but I think like I've only really gotten like a card and like some candies.
But did you really want something, or was that what you wanted?
I did.
Oh my god.
People who
I'm obviously talking to the wrong group
I
of men.
love my shit.
I don't like people to buy me things because they buy
Same.
me things I don't like and
I
I
just
don't
don't-
use it and I feel bad.
Oh my god. I guess we're just wired differently. I just don't want people to buy me things. End of sentence.
I like the effort. Like,
I don't. It's like stop it.
If-
Keep
if-
your money for you.
If you could get me a gift that like I'll actually like, I'll love it. Like, but
There's also that. I don't think I've ever been given a gift by a significant other, or like, at large. Really, I've been given very few gifts that I've been like, yes, this.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to say,
Hold on, real quick. Let's get the last because I know the last I want to get to.
Oh,
there
wait,
were
sorry.
just 2 more.
Sorry.
Pet cats at $95. I just want to point out that's only $10 less than boyfriend. And then pet dog finally at $81 because they're really just happy that you're there.
Right. And also, like me and Leo discussed this yesterday when we were doing the research. It's actually just easier to buy for dogs. Like, there's just more options for dog toys and stuff. So that's, I'm assuming, why it's least on the list. Like, you kind of have to go out of your way a little bit more to get cat stuff.
Also, cats are fucking brats.
And cats are fickle. Yeah.
Assholes.
Yeah. I have a cat. I don't
God,
like
I
it.
want one.
I'm allergic to it. I really hate it.
But I was just gonna say, just on the gift giving thing, and I just like I have to give shout outs because you're right here. You have given me the best gift that I can think of in my modern life, and I lost the fucking cigarette holder. I don't know what ever happened to that cigarette holder.
one. Oh,
but no, but even more than that, you gave me that tray,
Oh,
that
yes.
little tray from Paris, and for some of the more discerning types out there, I use that tray to prepare special cigarettes and things like that. But it's a great little drug tray to just like have around the place, and it's like, you know, for when you like, you know, when you grind up butt or something like that, you don't want to like get all over the place. It's a great little like portable tray. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's tin or like aluminum or something, so it's like resilient and not flimsy, but not also very heavy. It's literally the best souvenir I've ever gotten. That metal cigarette case was fucking I don't know what happened to it. I was
so
keeping
sad
such
that you
careful
lost
tabs
it.
on it. I'm so sad that I lost it. I'm sure it's in my house wherever my pipe is.
Hopefully, because it
same.
was really nice, and you really enjoyed that. I really.
Oh my god, it was thoroughly the best thing I've ever received for a gift, souvenir or otherwise.
But yeah, so let's see. So it seems like, let's actually get back on topic.
Right.
Jewelry companies, for the less market share that they have, are still winning.
Right, they're still killing it in like a financial sense, but I think that now that we're seeing like the decline in interest, we're also going to be seeing a decline in the money spent on it, because that decline in interest is only going to keep growing.
Yeah, I would hope that as the years go on, our generation really does fall out of liking with jewelry.
Yeah, and
I feel like it's bullshit for the most part. Like, you know,
and also from my personal experience, my anecdotal experience, women don't like it when their men get them jewelry, because they don't know what they really like.
Yeah, because
women women should get their own jewelry because they know exactly what they want to wear and how they want to wear it and all this stuff. Like, if I get my significant other a piece of jewelry, it's more or less a shot in the dark. Even if I know what they like and what they wear, I'm still gonna be like, this looks like that other thing she's got, so I'm gonna try that. It's a fucking, it doesn't make any sense. Like, women or anyone who enjoys jewelry should buy their own jewelry, because you're the one who knows what you like.
Yeah, like I feel similarly, because like I've gotten jewelry for myself, and when I do get jewelry for myself, I had a silver chain with like a little pendant, and I have a ring. Right. But like, I spent a lot of time like actually deliberating what I'm gonna get, because like it's gonna become a part of me.
Right, it's gonna be something you wear like when I go for jewelry, I go for like simpler, like rustic, like this string and this is wood. You know, like
little
I don't.
Charms, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Could you hear the little clink when that came out? I like that little noise.
Yeah. But hopefully, you know, as millennials start to take reign of power, as like, since we're the most populous generation since the boomers,
we're the boom babies.
Yeah. We're gonna, you know, really, you know, come into power. We're gonna become the economic force of America. We're gonna become the political force and the cultural force. Like, we're gonna dictate how society is gonna be for probably the rest of our lives. Like, once we really
probably for a good chunk of the next generation's lives too.
Yeah, because I know the Gen Zs, they're not as populous, and like even whatever the next generation.
Well, because we're not having kids either, so we're not really gonna begat a big generation.
Yeah.
But also, what do we call the next gen after Z? We've ran out of fucking letters.
We're still like maybe midway through Gen Z right now.
I know, but like in 8 years we will be out of it definitively.
Yeah.
So like, what's the new cohort? Generation Alpha? Like, we're just going to go into a new alphabet? Doesn't matter. That's not the point of the conversation.
But either way, it seems like events, dining out, and I guess still jewelry, those are still winning. Everybody else seems to be having their stagnant market shares. Candies are keeping steady. Flowers are keeping kind of steady.
Ferrero Rocher is still killing the game. They're not even a Valentine specific treat, but they're still going to be a great one.
Yeah, we saw that advertising. They got
plus
ads.
On all of those notes, all that being said, I think that there is a definitive winner to Valentine's Day, and I personally have to say it's millennials.
Millennials?
Because we are killing the diamond industry. We are killing casual dining with the exception of Applebee's, because they figured out how to market to us.
Don't go to Applebee's, please.
Eating good in that neighborhood.
It's not good.
It's not in our neighborhood either. So yeah, we're killing all these industries, and yet we're still coming out on top as the most populous and economically bombastic force that the country's going to see in the coming decades.
Yeah.
So the diminishment of Valentine's Day is showing that we are winning the culture war against stupid Hallmark bullshit.
And we are the victors, and we will stomp on the graves of the jewelers and Hallmark card makers.
And to the victors go the spoils.
And those spoils are going to be chocolates and Ferrero Rochers.
Hey, Ferrero Rocher!
But on that note, I think we should kind of cut off.
Yeah, I think there's our natural exiting point.
Yeah. Next week we'll also be having a very interesting technical episode. If you like, it's
gonna be a new format for us.
Yeah, we're gonna have an interview with my friend Miranda about Neopets and the various deeper aspects of it, similar like the black market for Neopet sales, and then the Neopet stock market, and general other aspects of Neopet culture and the Neopet economy, which are very active things.
Right.
And it's quite incredible how interesting and in depth Neopets is.
And so, if you, like me, are someone who never engaged with the Neopet, it'll be an interesting learning experience. I'm going to certainly be doing a lot of learning between now and next week so that I'm a little bit more well versed for the conversation, and we can find out what the deals are. Because from my understanding, my whole life, I just kind of imagine the Neopets are just anthropomorphized Tamagotchis on the internet. Which is
basically
right. It's pretty much what they are. I never really got into it, but I know that it's a huge scene for people. A good friend of mine in college actually waxed poetic a lot about her Neopets and how they were all starving.
You should hit
internet.
That friend up again.
No,
okay, that's all right.
It's been some time.
But yeah, two facts I kind of want to throw in before we head off is that one, Neopets might have had the possibility to be one of the first native advertising platforms ever, because I believe McDonald's had wanted to put some McDonald's branded games and
within the game,
within the Neopets system itself, because
it was kind of it was a big game with a lot of mini games in it, right?
Yeah, it was. And it was
kind of an open world lobby format.
It was like an HTML open world,
like Habbo Hotel and Club Penguin and all that kind of shit.
A little bit. But they wanted to have McDonald's be one of the little segments there, little whatevers. But the creators had decided against it because they thought it was a little bit too predatory. Because kind of a little predatory for little children. Kids. Yeah, children can't tell the difference between
marketing
content and cartoon.
To children. Right, exactly.
And then also, Neopets also almost became a vessel for Scientology propaganda. Because one of the venture capitalists that had brought Neopets to from its early stages to the next stage was a avid Scientologist, and he was really trying to push we should have Scientology information on the Neopets website. And
do you think that's why he put the money into it?
No, it was probably just a good decision. It seemed like he was just independently a Scientologist, and I was just I'm putting all this money in.
I wouldn't think that would be a great vehicle for Scientology, because Scientology, I don't know very much about it, and I don't want to get sued, but isn't part of the thing is we're all alien spirits trapped in human bodies, something like that?
I don't want to go too deep into it.
Would you really want anthropomorphic animals to be associated with your alien religion?
I don't know.
I feel that's too easy for kids to just assume that the Neopets are the Scientology aliens.
You gotta propagate your religion somehow.
Yeah, they opened a new church in Harlem.
Did they?
Yeah, last year. You should see it. It's on 125th Street.
I'll go check it out. I don't go to Harlem too often, so.
All right, but that's now even less reason to.
But
next time we do golf ball, we'll probably have to walk past it.
On that note, we should end off here.
Yeah.
I've been Leo.
I've been Vin.
And that's it.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you guys really liked our thematically matching sweaters.
Yes, I think we look adorable.
I think we look great. I think that this might be something that we do again in the future.
Yeah,
if we find the right matching theme. Yeah, or hats maybe. I know you're not a big hat guy.
I'm not, but I can do.
We can figure something out.
Yeah,
bandanas maybe.